Progesterone is mainly known as the pregnancy hormone. Now let's take a look at what progesterone really is, what it does, and why men need it too. The Latin name for this hormone is corpus luteum. During ovulation, the egg emerges from a small vesicle filled with liquid. Once the ovulation has started, this bubble remains. It then transforms into the so-called corpus luteum, and the hormone produced from it is the corpus luteum hormone, which is the whole production of the progesterone mainly takes place in the ovary, in this corpus luteum. The main function of progesterone is to prepare for pregnancy. In the first half of the cycle, it mainly requires estradiol. There is a separate video about that hormone, and in the second half cycle after ovulation, the uterine mucosa is prepared, so that a fertilized egg can nest there. That is the main function, and that's how we learnt it in medical training to become doctors. At the time, that was the only function we learned. Today we know that progesterone has many other functions. We will look at those shortly. Here you see a curve, how the progesterone level behaves in the course of a cycle. In the first cycle, relatively flat and low, and after ovulation, it goes straight up. If this increase does not take place, it can lead to various problems. We then call this a progesterone deficiency. So, let's see what happens. When there is a progesterone deficiency, first and foremost, of course, it affects women. You see the red dot? That was a measurement. And there you can see that this woman has far too little progesterone in the second half of the cycle. She suffers from a severe premenstrual syndrome. This is a common disorder. Every second woman suffers from premenstrual syndrome. This can be abdominal pain, abdominal cramps, or most of all, massive mood swings. 2 or 3 very difficult days just before and the first days during the menstruation, where the psyche is low and mood swings occur. It can trigger migraines and a wide variety of symptoms. This is what we call premenstrual syndrome, and the main cause for this is the low progesterone levels in the second half of the cycle. Equally important is the influence of progesterone on the thyroid gland. We need that in order for the metabolism to fully function. Without progesterone or with too little, the thyroid gland function is limited, so it can lead to a hypofunction. You may have heard of Hashimoto's inflammation of the thyroid gland. This almost always has a connection with low levels of progesterone. But this is hardly ever considered in conventional medicine. The next important function of progesterone takes place in the brain. The concentration of progesterone is higher in the brain than in the uterus. It is an essential hormone for the brain. Without progesterone, you can suffer from mood swings, right up to depression. You might have trouble concentrating, you lack focus, or you are forgetful. These are all features or symptoms from a lack of progesterone. The next important function of progesterone is in the metabolism. Without progesterone, sugar metabolism is slowed down. Actually, the whole metabolism is slowed down, including fat burning. That is why women with progesterone deficiency are struggling to lose weight or maintain it. Many gain weight even though they don't eat that much. There, too, it is important that we measure the progesterone level. Now, why do men need progesterone? After all, I've explained it should be obvious. He needs it for the brain, for the psyche, for the thyroid gland, but also for sexual functions. It also plays a part there too. And your prostate needs just as much progesterone as testosterone. It is important that every now and then we also measure a man's progesterone levels if he has symptoms in these areas. It is important to measure progesterone. I measure it in the saliva. For me, this is much more accurate than testing the blood, although all of conventional medicine disagrees here. I have already done over 2,000 such tests, and I can say that I have made a lot of experience in this area. Trust me, it's worth measuring. And if the level is too deep, all it needs is a bioidentical hormone ointment. You spread a little ointment on the arm or on the leg, or to the abdomen. It doesn't really matter that much. Progesterone passes through the skin and works much better than if you swallow it. When you swallow hormones, up to 80% is destroyed by digestion and the liver. Through the skin, we have the full effect available immediately. So, if you are affected by such symptoms, have your progesterone level checked in your saliva, and help is just around the corner.